The balance is, how do we give if we don't have? Those who are behind, those who are the bankrollers of A.W. Pink, Wesley, C.S. Lewis, how are they able to actually do that? Did their bills magically disappear? Well, no. There was someone behind them, a benefactor, who actually said, I believe in the work that you're doing for the Lord. How can anyone go if someone has not sent them? Hey guys, this is Greg Dean with the Joyful Giving Podcast. Welcome back. We're going to actually step into a three-part series that is about our role in going and giving. John Piper actually has an amazing quote. I'm going to paraphrase because I don't have it jotted down, but it basically says, you are either a goer, a sender, or you're disobedient. Ouch. Yeah. You're either a goer, a sender, or you are disobedient. What I'd like to do is break down each one of these. I think we hear about the goers often. What we don't hear about as much is the benefactors, those who are funding or providing the needs of those who are goers, those out on the mission field, those leading churches, those feeding the least of these. So why don't we start there? I'm going to start with the benefactors or the senders. So my producer, Carlos, pointed something out very good to me. I spend a lot of time in these podcasts talking about how we are called to give, and that's actually good and right. There's nothing wrong with anything I've said. It's just not necessarily balanced. The balance is, how do we give if we don't have? Well, perhaps we go and use our time and talent to create, as God actually commanded us to do. He did it from the very beginning with Adam and Eve. Go and take dominion over this. Take dominion over the animals, over the creation itself, the vegetation, and make sense of it. Create. And that's why we have some of the most beautiful things in the world. Art, literature, music, and industries, inventions, patents, all of these things that make our modern life distinct. I'm sitting in an air-conditioned room right now because someone put the effort forth to build out an HVAC system that evolved from something very simple like a fan and now is something that I can actually set by degree the level of Fahrenheit that's in the room. That's amazing. That's because someone leveraged their talent and their time. And that person may or may not be a believer. I haven't done the research. But I do know some others, like Mr. Green and the Green family of Hobby Lobby. They actually give 50% of their profits away. So much are they givers of what they know is God's, that they actually put the entire company into a trust that is dedicated to the Lord. The family doesn't even own it anymore because they want to make sure that everyone understands that even this sprawling enterprise like Hobby Lobby is the Lord's. Isn't that amazing? Now, there's a book that I read pretty recently about benefactors, and it talks about those who are behind, those who are the bankrollers of the likes of A.W. Pink and Wesley and C.S. Lewis and others like that who have meant so much to us by taking the talents that they've been given in philosophy, in theology, and so forth to steep us up in an understanding of our God and how he loves and how we can be disciple-making disciples. How are they able to actually do that? Did their bills magically disappear? Well, no. There was someone behind them, a benefactor, who actually said, I believe in the work that you're doing for the Lord. I believe that the Lord is actually going before you in this, and I also understand that you have to feed your family. You have to pay the mortgage. You would also like to be a giver because there's joy in giving. So someone or a group of people stood behind this high-profile individual and bankrolled it. Those benefactors are as critical. How can anyone go if someone has not sent them? And I don't mean just sending them like saying, hey, go ahead, go, and good luck with that. It's, no, I know your needs will be X, Y, and Z. Here they are. Now do what the Lord has gifted you to do. Now, one of the ways you can figure out what goer type you are is by taking a spiritual gifts test. Now, one of those gifts is actually the ability to produce wealth. I've got a buddy that lives south of Oklahoma City named Shane. I hope he watches this and grins as I mention this. But he is a man who could actually just make money. I mean, almost magically. And not in a manipulative way, in a very Christ-honoring way. He just knows how to take something and produce something more out of it. Again, exactly like what God has done. Why not do that? Now, in future videos, I'll actually talk a little bit about whether we are only a benefactor or only a goer, because I think you could be both. But again, let's put a pin in that. As a benefactor, though, if you have the gift of producing wealth, and by the way, that could be someone who is an Elon Musk type that can make absolutely everything he touched turn to gold, Midas style, all the way down to someone who could just get a job at the local 7-Eleven, which is good and right. Every bit of this is wealth creating and should be used, certainly, to meet our daily bread needs, but no more. As it says in Proverbs, Lord, give me what I need this day, my daily bread. Don't give me too much, lest I start believing that I don't need you anymore. And don't give me too little, so that I start doing things that might dishonor you. I've paraphrased there like a crazy man, but you know what I'm saying here. Live off of what you need to live off of, but create as much wealth as you can for God's glory, to do his work. How can someone hear the gospel when their stomach has been growling for the last day and a half? How can someone hear the love of Christ if they're amidst being sex trafficked and abused and objectified? Let's step in and be benefactors, every one of us, especially if you have the gifting. Guys, I'm Greg Dean, and this is the Joyful Giving Podcast.